What's going on, everyone? Juice Bags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2. We are here back in the Coral Reef Town on Chaos 10, and this time we're going to try it with some fishes. So we're going to be using our jellyfish shotguns, of course, and going to add in some water sprite towers just for flavor. 100% do not need any sort of elemental combos in Chaos 10. They're worthless the majority of the time. However, we are going to use it just for some fun factor. So going to be going with some water sprites, just rando shards. I got mass destruction in there to get a little bit of juice out of them. Use an anti-melee, anti-chaos, and defense rate. And then we got spiritual focus for damage radius and range. And then escalation, pardon me, for a little bit increased damage. However, like I said, just thrown together. Now, our jellyfish shotguns, however, are pretty decked. Anti-chaos, anti-melee, and defense rate, of course. Mass destruction, and focused current. The mob counts on this map are low enough where we can go ahead and take that extra damage and not worry about it only hitting 6 targets. So by default, of course, they hit 10. These are going to be hitting 6. We're going to do this one naked, so we got no pet empowerment stats or anything like that going on. And with it, we're going to use the lovely training dummy, Juggernaut, Auto Repair, Automation, on Accumulator, Protective, and Hardened Servo. Let's go ahead and get it built out here. We'll start off with this side, since this side's kind of the no-brainer side. You got just this incredibly good little choke point here. It's hard not to want to take advantage of that. Now, I am going to share Buff Beam with a Skyguard tower here, but I want my Skyguard like right about here. So with that in mind, let's do it something like this. We're going to put our jellyfish just pointed right down the lane. We'll add in our sprite slightly behind that. Yeah, I think something like that will work. And then let's just go ahead and get our buff beam set up now. So we're going to go with a buff beam lengthwise like this. That way I can get a little line of sight into that lane. Now, that means that my Skyguard tower is not going to be getting pylons and stuff like that, but I will have line of sight pretty decently into both of the flyer lanes. And then I'm getting diffusion, of course, from the buff beam. Actually, you know what? I could just put the reflect beam right here, and then it will get pylons. So yeah, even better, even better. And then I think for this lane, since it's the big double lane, we will jazz it up with a boost aura as well. Now, I don't think in these other lanes we're going to have enough DU to throw down full buffs and boosts. But let's check it out here. We'll go with our training dummy right here. And how do we want to do it? Well, let's get our reflect beam in. I guess we can just go with we can go just straight across on this one maybe. Or do I want to toggle them just a little? Let's do that. That'll give me a little easier placement for our buff beam. Now, I am prioritizing the buff beam over the boost aura just for diffusion. That way I get a little bit extra range out of the deal here. And then, of course, I got all my pylons there. So what? That leaves me 250 left. Which, yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to add in any sort of boost auras there. And then here, we'll do it the same way we did the Poon build the other day, where we're kind of keeping the target dummy on this side of the flyer lane. So if the flyer's aggro to something, of course, we're hoping it aggroes to the dummy and not to our towers. And then we can go something like this, maybe. And then we'll get our water sprite in the back. The water sprite has much better range, so I like to throw it back in the back there. And then buff beam. Yeah, we're going to have 20 DU left over that we don't really have anything to do with, but we'll throw our pylons in like right there. But I think we're going to be pretty good. I'm going to DPS on the hunter. I will have to keep an eye out for this the lanes. This is kind of an untested build. So let's go ahead and upgrade what? Let's hit all of the walls once. Oh, you know what? I need to use that extra 20 down here. Almost forgot about that. Let's get our little anti-hex thrower set up going down here, because we all know how hex throwers are. There we go. We'll get our Skyguard up. Let's get it up there, and then I'll just dump these into the jellyfish. All right, let's let it fly, see how it is. The jellyfish are really powerful. You don't see a lot of people using them, I think in part because the range is short on them. They are really, really incredibly good, though. I think as far as storm damage, most people probably prioritize the Tesla over the jellyfish. But this thing is just a blast to the face. It's one shot in pretty much everything up until about Berserker. Like higher than Berserker, and it's no longer a one shot. So, you know, Chieftain, of course, are not getting one shot. Now, with the short range, of course, the Chieftain are not going to pop their bubbles until really late. So, although they do get blasted down first, or fast, once their bubbles are gone, they, without a doubt, get shots in on the wall. Doing pretty good, though. See if we can get another seahorse pet today. I've gotten, what, 4 or 5 of them now. Still don't have a legendary one yet. But also not really hard grinding it trying to get one. So just kind of, I'll incidentally get a legendary one eventually. And then with our shorter range, of course, when we get into the later waves where there are hex throwers, we are going to have to get up in there and get a little hex thrower damage going manually ourselves. Oh, Water Sprite gets it, man. Now that Electrocute combo, as I said, it's just not really needed. The Chieftain are going to negate most CC effects, and the Chieftain are really the thing that you're going to want to crowd control. Chieftain can be knocked up, so, you know, Mystic Walls, a Earth Shatter Tower, those are all glorious things. What else? The Flak Turret does really well. The old Flak from the Countess does great. But normal elemental combos are not really going to do a whole lot for you. Get another one there. I think we'll just spam it into the shotguns here. And we'll let it fly. Pretty smooth wave 1, but we don't have the full setup yet. All of the, all of the chaos enemies are not quite in yet. Yeah, you see the Zerkers are just getting tapped pretty easily. That's another, it's kind of, there's never many benefits to having short range, but one of them would definitely be whatever is out in front, which is normally like Berserkers. They're gonna get popped. Just gonna happen. Here we're gonna have, see the Chieftain get burned really quick, but their bubbles, they're just not having to pop their bubbles until super late. We got a little Cannon Ogre action. That's gonna be coming from that top lane there. I think we'll just go ahead and get assistant on that because the Cannon Ogre will just stay in the back and take pot shots. As I think the Cannon Ogre might outrange my jellyfish here. Pretty smooth sailing overall. Take a lot of damage there. Gonna drop one more upgrade on it. I think this lane is always going to be kind of the trouble lane as far as line of sight. I'm curious about some pufferfish builds with like all of the areas up top where you can build. But additionally, they're well in range of ranged goblins. So anything that you do build up there that requires line of sight, if, your pufferfish can line of sight the enemies, then the enemies can line of sight it as well in many, many cases. And I think that would be one of them. So it would turn into just constantly repairing through all of the goblin bombers. But I'm sure there's probably a way to get it going. Maybe not on the front side, maybe on the back side. So instead of having them peeking over the front side of the rail here, maybe have them peek over the backside, and then there wouldn't be as much of an issue. Just let it fly here for wave number 3. We should get a few more enemies added into the lanes here now. You know, one thing I haven't noticed at all so far were the Sharkin. So I think the shotguns are just blasting the Sharkin. I'm sure it's probably one-taps. Let's keep an eye on a Sharkin coming out this time and see what we're gonna, you know, what kind of value we get out of them. Not actually seeing any at all. I mean, I know we've got to have some Sharkins out here. Got a little siege roller action. Yeah, I must just be missing them. But I'm just not seeing the Sharkin here. This area is definitely getting hit hard. It's because of the line of sight with that corner, I believe. I might even be better served to move this build location somewhere else and do something different with the flyers. Protective downgrade has not popped. You see we still got the 2 upgrades on it. But it is taking a good bit of damage over here. We can go get our siege roller now. Let's just do it. Do a little siege roller hunting here. I also think that gargoyles might be a great choice for this map. I haven't tried them out yet, but I definitely want to give gargoyles a whirl for farming this one. This lane, of course, you can put the gargoyles up top. They'll be untouchable. Over here, I'm not sure on the ranges, but you might be able to put them on top of that column and beam there, and then on top of that little coral mushroom over there. And then Malthius, of course, taking their sweet time. There we go. All right. Let's see. How bad was it down here? We got that 1 repair in. Was that... Looks like that was all that was needed, was the 1 repair. So, I mean, it's not like I'm really having to work too hard here, but, you know, other than the power of the shotgun, if you didn't have to worry about the flyers, I think just spawn camp in this one would be the way. You could put the jellyfish like right on the rail here and put the wall right here, and it would just blast everything from spawn. You know what? Let's try it. I'm a little worried that the flyers are going to come back over and start slapping those things, but you know, if we don't ever try it, we won't know. So let's try it out here and see how it goes. Let's get our squire back in. Go right up front. We'll put our training dummy right there. And then this is going to allow us to hit the enemies right out of the spawn. Which, you know, in theory is going to work beautifully. But theories don't always work out. Let's see if this one will. Alright, and then we had, what, a buff beam and, yeah, just 20 left for the pylons. There we go, something like that. We got mana left over, so let's just go ahead and let's get all of our upgrades in over here since we moved the whole operation a little. We'll go back to 2 upgrades there. Let's get a couple of upgrades on. Hell, we'll even upgrade our little water squirty boy. Go ahead and take that all the way up. Since it's right at the spawn, I'm assuming it's going to take mad damage. Alright, let's let it fly and see what happens. Now, I don't want to cause any aggro over there myself, so I'm going to come back over here, and we'll see if those flyers are going to aggro down at those defenses there. Of course, our Zerks and stuff are just going to get blasted. Most of this stuff is going to get blasted right out of the turn. This might turn out a little better than the old setup. I mean, we got line of sight right on the spawn. Dive bombers could be a problem there, huh? I mean, the Skyguard wrecked them. We saw it take those shots, but any dive bombers over there could be an issue. Looks like our goblin bombs are not bouncing back, so my reflect beam is a little bit too close. Gonna have to adjust that out for the final wave. And they are actually slightly out of range, too. So we're going to have to do something there. I think just adjusting the reflect beam will resolve that issue. It actually looks like the way the bombs are exploding there, they're not actually damaging the towers. See, it should just automate the Drakenlord. Let's just go ahead and step on back and not shoot at him. Yeah, the poor little Drakenlord. There is nothing that is afraid of Drakenlords anymore. Let's see. We got some shots being taken over here by those hex throwers. So there's the whole short range dilemma too. Hex throwers are always going to suck if you don't have any range. Now Quibbly could be a problem up here since we know that my reflect beam is not placed well. Let's see. Yeah, Quibbly's bombs are exploding, so we're going to have to get that reflect beam adjusted. He's actually inside of the spawn protection. So there we go. We got him here now. And then we got a Plaguing Hawk over there. Plaguing Hawk down. All right, now let's get this reflect beam adjusted out so that we're getting bombs actually being reflected. Let's get it way out here. We'll go right about there. I think that should be a little bit better. And then since this big double lane down here gets a lot of heat, let's go and dump all of our upgrades in over here. We'll get that wall jacked. The jellyfish are already jacked. Throw a couple of ups there then, and a couple of ups there, and we should be good to go. And we'll have to see. We'll have to get a goblin bomber or some sort of ranged mob out of here before we can see if that reflect beam placement was a little bit better there this time. Pretty smooth overall. Like I said, I'm not having to work. There's no real panic mode going on anywhere. The issues that we are having are ones that we know about, like the hex throwers. We just don't have enough range to reach them. It's just nice seeing the zaps go off. I think that's one of the big draws with like the electrocute combo particularly. It's not the greatest combo in the world, but it is nice seeing the zaps go off. It's very visually pleasing for sure. We got a siege roller I'll have to deal with. He's going to be a while though. Yeah, looks like our bombs are bouncing back now, so should have no problems there. Our siege roller will be out in a moment, or out far enough for us to engage anyway. He's got a lot of homies in the back right now. Let's clear out his homies in the back, and then we'll blast our siege roller. And I think for the final 60 here, it's going to be pretty smooth sailing. Quibs, there might be range issues too. Let's take a look. Is he going to get close enough for the shotguns to get him? The water tower, of course, will hit him. But the water tower's not really doing a whole lot of damage. Yeah, he was close enough. No issue there. Griblock. Griblock, of course, made it all the way to the wall. But no chance. He attacks slow enough where those target dummies are just able to heal through all of the damage. So there we go. Super smooth sailing. I don't think this one would be my go-to farm build for this map. But if you're grinding it out and you're wanting to actually play and kind of diversify what you're doing, this would be a way to get it done. I think that was my weekly and a defender pass level up. Let's see. Yep, that knocked out my weekly. I had Defender Pass XP as the weekly this week, so that's another one that's just a matter of just play. Do your dailies, and your weekly will complete. But anyway, there we go, y'all. That will get it for now. Thanks an absolute ton for watching. and I will see you next time around. Take it easy.